this is actually very important because it's one of the mandatory requirement for Caesar application. And how to present, and if you are in UK or outside UK, and what other evidences you can provide in that. And so I'll go for that. And I have put this slide again. I thought I will make it a permanent part of my portfolio pathway journey. So persistence is a must. And again, housekeeping rules. This must be on your tips now, and disclaimer along with those documents. So standards of assessment for portfolio pathway are again achievement of 11 CIPs, and which I am going to cover today, and is the audits. So audits is one of the mandatory thing in your Caesar or portfolio pathway now, as it is called, application. And these three things, what I have written on the slide, those are from the Royal College, and those say that the trainee in the last year or during their training period, they should be able to develop and plan SMART audits, like SMART objectives, because SMART is specific, measurable, attainable, reflective, and research and education experience. So I'm going to cover the SMART audits and research hopefully next time, and next time should be the last session. I wanted today's to be the last session, but next time should be the last session, if unless and until you want to cover some other topics. So what's the audit that we should be able to understand? And so this is the evidence we should be able to show. And specifically, it becomes a bit tricky if we are collecting the predominant evidence from outside the UK, and then we don't know, we are not sure. So believe it or not, I submitted my audits from outside UK, and I started one over here, but because I submitted application quite soon, so I had not completed the whole cycle. So 2 completed audit cycles from outside UK I submitted. So how to do that and how to submit that? So quality assurance, and what's the purpose actually? Why they're asking, and why they want you to be included in the quality assurance and improvement principles. And it's not only those audits. What we do is that most of the time data sets, completion, screening programs. So those are the usual and routine ones. It's a quite vast subject, and we can do audit of anything, any quality improvement activity. I'll show you later on that how you can do. And even in UK, if you are here and the department is not able to, because one of the major things which I got the feedback from various candidates or various Caesar candidates, portfolio pathway candidates, or my class fellows, was that you need a specific mentor or specific, some person who should be there to help you out. So if you are lucky enough, that's fine. But many people are not lucky enough. So how to do that then, in absence of some significant support for the audit specifically I'm talking about? So this is what's written in SSG, that must. So it's a mandatory requirement, at least one complete cycle of audit or quality improvement activity undertaken, and intervention and further measurement. And this should be supported by a reflection. Okay. So you can always write, and better to write. So if you write the reflections, that's what I was saying before, and have continued the importance of reflection. And I would just say that it's not only for your portfolio pathway, it's for your own self-improvement, your team improvement, the departmental improvement. And don't go for it as just a tick box exercise. And then what is highly recommended is that they should be able to demonstrate for the portfolio pathway that complete and ongoing internal and external audit activities, okay, and relevant to the specialty and conclusion and effect on practice. So what is the supporting evidence for that? could be published audit, authenticated by the head of the department and lab manager or a senior consultant or anyone. So it's not mandatory that you should be able to one complete loop cycle of any audit, or they have written quality improvement activity. So if you are outside UK, you can just do a certain quality improvement activity in your department and see the complete loop is there, cycle is there. I'll touch on that later on. And then you can demonstrate the findings. So you can do for the audit report, you can do for the, you can publish that, and you can even just write a reflection on that. But I would say that, of course, once you are completing a loop outside or inside, like working in the UK, the report is mandatory in that. So complete audit loop and the audit report plus a reflection will fulfill your CIP and fulfill your mandatory requirement. And then they have given the examples also that they don't want the life to be, miserable for us, that sometimes you are not able to because you have been inducted in a department where it's very busy or people are not there. It's a very small department, or I would say, unfortunately, there is no support from seniors. So I have seen people suffering. And next week, I'm going to give one of the career seminar. There is one more talk. And in that, it's saying that, you should be, what I'm gathering, trying to gather the feedback from other portfolio pathway, from the other clinical fields. Literally, 80% of the people have told me that, they don't get support. So departmental or senior or so it's a bit unfortunate. I won't blame the departments even because the turnaround times for histopathology and in the clinical fields, the clinics and the theaters and so waiting lists are so long that people, they're so busy in their own jobs or fulfilling their own job plans that they don't have really time to mentor another person. And second would be your own proactiveness also. So you should be able to go and request a person or senior person or start a project and then just get it authenticated, as simple as that. So you don't really need someone holding your hand and, uh, uh, giving you the, I would say again, spoon feeding. So that's why I have made one presentation only for audits, that if you are not able to, because we don't understand. And, my father was a chartered accountant and he used to do audits for the finances. And it was always like only one thing used to come to my mind when I used to hear the audits. That was the financial audit at the end of year. So I had to really look and read around it. That what's an audit? What's a clinical audit? So some examples of audit maybe. So they have given the examples that you can compare, and these are very simple. You can compare the surgical pathology reports to the guidance published in one of the RCPAT datasets. So if you are not in UK, most of the, of course, like in the UK and most of the Far East departments, I understand that they do use Royal College guidelines. But if your department is not using, and even if they are using College of American Pathologists or College of Australasia, that should be fine, because I submitted the audits from outside UK and I amalgamated the two guidelines for CAP and for RCPath, and then I did the audit. And I was the head of the department, so I included two of my colleagues in that. And we did that. One was, I think, related to polyp, adenomatous polyps, completion of report. And then second one was the urothelial. So muscle invasion, muscle present or absent, flat urothelium present or absent. And I'm talking about 2018 or 19. So afterwards, Royal College pathologist, they also developed the very nice, the the data set was already there, but very nice audit paper that how to do that for the urothelium. So, and then you can assess the turnaround times for specific case types. Again, it's not mandatory that it should be a tumor. So you can just develop that, what are the handling and reporting of specific. I will show you the examples. And these are examples given by the Royal College. And comparing a new lab method or technique to a previous or existing one. So over here, so specific topics, they've said that those are not mandatory, but they have just given you example to make your life easy. Second thing would be that I will just give you two very tiny examples that we do melanoma reporting. So since we have started reporting digitally now, so I just said previously what used to happen is that we used to give the melanoma slides. The primary pathologist will give it to the secondary pathologist with a form, with the request that please do that for me, and the second pathologist will complete the dataset items on the other column and sign and give it back. So it was a kind of a whole exercise, and melanoma is very frequent over here. So like it's not nothing that you will encounter once in a while. So in a week, as a derm lead, I'm signing out I don't know how many. So it was not a hectic thing to do, but once we were digitalized, so what I did was that just send an email, we removed the paper. So it has happened in within months, because since October we had started our stage 2 validation and digital reporting, and for the we completed our stage 2 validation for digital pathology. So since last year, October, I think November, December, Jan or maybe December started the melanoma reporting. And now it's going so smoothly. Initially, there were some glitches, but now that just send an email to each other. And so it has reduced our time, going here and to and fro. It has reduced the paper use. It has reduced the, of course, then good for environment, and it has reduced the amount of time the other person, slides putting, and so you can just see it digitally. The measurements are there digitally, so you don't have to measure by microscope. It has reduced the time for that. And then finally, the scanning. So at the end of the authorization, so when you give to the secretaries, so it has reduced their time also. And finally, for the MDT. And in MDT, sometimes it used to happen that the second form signature was not given to us. So occasionally, not frequently, but then we had to ask the secretaries, can you print that also, please, for us? Or it is not scanned, then we have to be sure that second pathologist has signed, because that was a part of a melanoma reporting data set. So now we can just see the digital, and the other person says, I agree. So it's quite simple. So I'm just saying that sometimes very simple things you can show, and sometimes very simple things you can do quality improvement. So I would again suggest that please, if you have got any idea, don't hold it to yourself, not only for your portfolio pathway, but for the betterment of your department, for betterment of a patient, and betterment for the, whole hospital or whole the environment. That would be good. So try to think about that, and little tweaks only. So how to save time for other persons, how to save things. So you can just do that. And these are again simple things. So you can very easily, if you are outside, I would say that if you have started collecting your evidence, or if your predominant evidence from outside UK, and you are still there, so you can do that audit and complete the loop. And then once you are here, you can just get included in one more or two more activities. If you get that, well and good, and the department will agree, because I have seen people's applications being delayed just because they have not completed the audit loop cycle. Why I'm stressing it so much? So sometimes it happens that the people are not, getting the support. So or they start an audit which is like, this, loop is long and the cycle is long. So I will just touch upon the cycle also, that how to close the loop. what is a re-audit, and then you have to wait for the re-audit for at least 6 months, or maybe at least couple of months. So remember that it's not a very easy, and I have seen people just waiting to complete the loop to submit their application for portfolio pathway. So I would say that because one is mandatory, you have seen that they have used the word must. So these are some examples given, and I would say very nice examples. And then why it's important that it's as a part of team, you should be able to contribute. And again, teamwork is very important in anything. And yes, in interview, I always say me first and me. It's me, and only me. So you should talk about yourself in the interview. But over here also, initiative may be by you, but it's always a teamwork. So better to get included other team members also. And if you can do one RCPAT data set, that you can do. It can be done single-handedly. Those are very quick. So once you are in that, it will be very quick, and it won't take much time. So appreciate differences between audit, service review, and research. So what's an audit and what's an service review and what's a research? So we should be able to appreciate that. And digital resources to find suitable literature for diagnostic interpretation for research. So these are the differences, and research next time I'll touch. And I'll ask in the group that is there any other topic if they want, and hopefully that should be the last one. And so participates in audit and service improvement projects in relation to national screening programs. So if you are in UK, if someone is, or you yourself are part of a screening program, then you can do that. And service improvement and clinical governance. So this is again a must, that participation in clinical governance activities. So you can map it to other sections within the document. For example, appraisal, audit activities, and then you can do EQS schemes, which we are doing in the UK, and engagement with the service improvement activities. So all these, but that is for the quality improvement. So there are two musts. One is audit, one is quality improvement. And then quality improvement activities, what are those? Those allow you to review and evaluate quality of your work, and identifies what works well in your practice, and then reflection. So you see how last time or the time before I touched upon the reflection.